went to high school back in New Bedford, Massachusetts, graduated in 1950, and my high school counselor at the time said that there was no future in science nor engineering. And so that's how I ended up at Cornell as an undergraduate in the hotel school. And then I decided that perhaps I really was more interested in engineering. We made an application to MIT, applied for a General Electric fellowship, and luckily they both came through. And so I went on to MIT for my graduate work. Originally planned to be in electromagnetic theory, but there was a lot of excitement about information theory at MIT, and Claude Shannon was just coming to be on the faculty, and it was just a very exciting time.
He taught the information theory course, and I quickly figured out that information theory was the most exciting thing going on at MIT. At least seemed so to me. It was, in retrospect, we call it the golden age of information theory.
While at MIT, I had the good fortune to work with Jack Wozencraft, teaching a course on communication and information theory. And we decided, rather than focusing on information theory as applied mathematics, we would treat it as a way to do future practical engineering, that is, that it would have a very practical impact. Out of those notes, we ended up writing a book, a textbook. It was published in 1965 and has indeed been very popular ever since.
They asked me to proofread the whole thing, and so I'm probably one of the few people who've read every word in that text.
I really believe that Irwin's textbook started paving the way, and many generations of engineers really got trained on that book.
After being at MIT for 7 years, we decided to accept a position at the brand new University of California here in San Diego.
Irwin is the first link between information theory and the MIT school in California. Irwin comes to UCSD in 1966, and he comes out of MIT, which is the hotbed of information theory for the world, really a concentration information theorist.
Irwin was the leading entrepreneur in the area of wireless. It did bring forth a technology that was originally received with great skepticism. I'm talking about code division multiple access.
And so for several years there was what was often referred to as a religious war between TDMA and CDMA. And we just had to continue to focus on making improvements, bringing the technology forward, better phones, better infrastructure, improved technology.
If Irwin Jacobs hadn't pushed CDMA in the early 90s and convinced people that it was possible to do so, we'd still be stuck with the limitations of TDMA and the inefficiencies.
Roberto Padovani came up with some very good ideas for increasing the data carrying capability of CDMA.
So it worked perfectly, I think, from an engineering standpoint and also from a business standpoint. We're a very tight group, very focused on innovation, and to try to find elegant solutions. As Irwin's always say, we have to find the elegant solution to very practical problems.
One of the approaches we followed in both of my two companies, Linkabit and then Qualcomm, is try to do something innovative. Rather than trying to make a small change, try to do something that makes a larger change.
CDMA was so controversial in the 1990s, I think people forget about, because it was so technologically complicated, because it required software, because it required programming, because it required computing power.
I think Dr. Jacobs' impact has really been in the advancement of information technology applied to communication systems. Irwin had a lot to do with that, and there's been a great impact to society.
Don't get discouraged when there are those who will say that this is not a useful direction. If you believe it, just continue on.